we don't want to do anything to scare your children. That's the last thing we want to do. We don't want to scare anybody.
We will not be held responsible for any hearing impairments or damage caused to you from excessive exposure to this sound.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of A Tilted World. My name is Derek Tilt. I am your host, and this is a comedy podcast. Not every episode is the same, but one thing's guaranteed, you're gonna laugh. If this is your first time joining us, thank you so much for being here. Make sure to hit that like, subscribe, follow, all that fucking fun stuff. If you're on YouTube, hit that bell. Make sure to be notified when we're doing live streams, which is every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the fun thing, too, is even though we're doing live streams, you can still find them after we're done streaming. So make sure to subscribe. If you're on iTunes, give us a little rating, give us some stars, give us a little review, give us a quick a couple little comments. Let us know how we're doing. It would mean the world to me. And if you share our streams and tag us in it, whether it's on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, anything, tag us in it. And you'll be entered to win free merch. This month's winner was Rosa Roscoe, and she's going to be picking some stuff off of our store, and she gets it for free. And you can go to our store at atiltedworld.com and just click the tab that says store and pick anything off our store and get it for free. I am so excited to have you guys here. I'm going to do a quick shout out to any content creators, podcasters, comedians, even small business owners. If you want your audience, your customer, your clientele to know, to find you, or you want to, expand it, let me know and we'll have you on the show. I'm looking for more guests. And speaking of which, our guest next week is a funny guy. His name is Stefan Satani, and he hosts a podcast called a comedy advice podcast. I'm super excited to have him on. Check him out. He has a whole list of great comedians, a lot of comedians I actually look up to on his show, and he interviews them, and they just, talk about it, advice questions and have fun. So make sure to check him out. He's going to be on next Wednesday, so make sure to tune in. And this week we have a great show lined up for you. Normally on our streams, we like to play TikToks and videos, but this week we have some moral dilemmas coming up, and me and one of your favorite guests, Ethan, are going to have fun dissecting those and talking about them. It's going to be a lot of fun. So without further ado, going to welcome this week's guest, Ethan Dirks.
Hey, it's your boy, Ethan. Thank you, Derek. Good to be here again.
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing great. I just noticed something. The intro to your podcast, that guy's saying like, we don't want to do anything to scare your children. Is that from Waco? That's like the Waco siege.
Is it really? I honestly, there's a sound bite that I took from a website.
I think it's what the FBI director was broadcasting to the Branch Davidians inside of their compound. But what's fucked up is like they were totally scaring the children. They were playing like the sounds of dying rabbits.
Wait, you're talking about the Netflix show Waco?
Yeah, but that's based on a true event. And I was like, dude, that's what that audio sample's from. So,
I gotta check that out. I honestly,
yeah.
I like joined this like free like audio bit site, and like I could like download sounds from that site. I had no idea where it was coming from, though.
I'm pretty sure it's from that event.
No shit.
Very cool, man.
Well, I have one. So you've been a guest on this show. I think this is your 4th or 5th time on.
It's got to be 5.
Like for real episodes.
Yeah,
I have a little beef with you.
Hey, let's hear it.
You didn't follow me on Instagram until about an hour and a half ago.
It wasn't even an hour and a half ago. It was like 20 minutes ago. Oh, no, maybe it was an hour ago. Let's say an hour ago.
It was. You should have followed me like a year ago. But it's fine. It's fine. So what's the deal? What's going on with that?
I've had my Instagram for several years, but I didn't start using it until about a month and a half ago. And I don't know, maybe I assumed that I added you. But I was scrolling through my feed, and I saw a Tilted World, and that I had not subscribed, and I took care of business.
I came up in your suggested follows.
You came up somewhere, yeah.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
it makes sense. You've tagged me before.
That's why it blows my mind. I saw that notification. Literally, I was on my way home from the bar today, and I got a notification that said Ethan Dirks followed you on Instagram, and I was like,
I couldn't believe
my
it.
personal page and my show, and then I saw it was my show, and I was like, that motherfucker. I've had him on.
I thought I was already in, like, following, but who knows, dude? I just signed up for Clubhouse last night, and I feel so cool. Have you heard of Clubhouse?
This is a new social media thing?
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. It's the new cool social media app, and I kind of felt left out because I was never a part of it. But I got an invite last night, and it feels great. I'm not using. I'm not. I don't know. I'm not using it, but I'm in it. So
is it? Hold on. I think Clubhouse is one of those things where it's like everybody video chats, but like
it's not video chat. It's just voice chat. It's kind of like more hipster Discord, I guess you could say. But yeah, it's really exclusive. You know, you have to get invited, and each person only gets 2 invites to send out. And
that's so weird.
Yeah.
How do you get more invites? You just only you only get to pick 2 people, and invite them.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll send you an invite. I'll give you one of mine. You mean that much to me?
Oh, well, I'm glad that one of my guests that I've had on a few times in the last year just followed me on Instagram, but he's giving me a Clubhouse invite. It's okay.
Yep. Our friendship is transactional only.
Dude, so I know I brought this up a few times when I've had you on, but I haven't reached out to him because I know he's not going to respond. But is your brother alive?
Which one?
Sorry, Adam.
No, we lost him a few months ago.
Wait,
no,
what?
No, he's fine. No, he doesn't. Like I said this a long time ago on your podcast, but he doesn't even respond to my texts. Homie's unreachable.
Maybe hold on. Maybe I should try and call him. Maybe he'll answer.
He might, but I would highly doubt it.
I highly doubt it too. But we're just gonna give it the good old college try.
Give it a good old rub. He ain't gonna answer.
Wait. He will. I got faith in my boy.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, dude. How you doing, man?
Good.
How
are you?
I'm doing really good. You're live with me and Ethan on my podcast.
Oh, really?
Welcome.
With Ethan? My brother?
Yeah, your brother. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he can't. There's no way he can hear me.
Yeah, he can't hear you. He's saying hey, but we were talking because your brother's been on my podcast a million times now, and we just wanted to follow up, make sure you were alive.
I'm alive. Yeah.
Tell him we were afraid of a Chris. Tell him we were afraid of a Chris McCandless situation.
That's gotta count for something.
Hold on, Ethan. What did you say?
Tell him we were afraid of a Chris McCandless situation.
What's Ethan doing?
He said that we were afraid of a Chris McCandless situation.
McCandless.
Oh, like what's the movie called?
Into the Wild.
Into the Wild.
Into the Wild. I'm gonna run away and die in Alaska. Is that what you're worried about?
Yeah, I think so. We're afraid that you're gonna run away and die in Alaska.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't worry about that. I just got back from a walk around the neighborhood, so pretty chill. You know.
Yeah. Where are you at right now?
Utah.
Oh shit! Are you Mormon now?
I am. Yeah.
How many?
Waiting to say it, but
ask him about his sister wives.
How many sister wives do you have?
So far just one. Yeah, they start you off slow, so yeah, just one. You know.
Oh well, that sucks. You gotta bump those numbers up, bub. Get up to 12.
Rookie numbers, I know.
Well, hey man, I'm gonna let you go because we are live on my show. But hey, text me or not. Don't even. I know you're not gonna text me, but respond to a text, please. And also, please reach out to your mother. I'm sure she's worried.
I texted her yesterday. Also, question.
Yes.
Are you still doing a hike? Is that still going on? I was going to ask you about that.
I do have some stuff. I have some gear that I've been piling up. I haven't had time to go yet, but I have a couple months off this summer. I'm hoping to do a portion of the Appalachian Trail, probably only like a week long hike, but something.
All right, no, that's good. That's good.
But so we'll talk to you later.
Okay.
We'll talk after this. Just respond to a text, please.
I will respond. Don't worry.
All right, Bubba. Love you.
Bye, Ethan.
Bye. I'm shocked. I was almost gonna put down money and say $10 he doesn't answer. I'm glad I didn't.
You're lucky
Yeah.
you didn't. So for those of the listeners that are watching or viewers, we had Adam on. I think episode 14 was the
It was a
episode
good one.
we had him on. It was a great one. I highly encourage anybody that's listening, watching, go to our iTunes and Spotify and listen to that episode. And he talked about his time on the Pacific Crest Trail, and it was a great episode. But Adam is kind of a hermit. You know, he's a good old mountain man now, you know.
Dude, he looks the part too. Have you seen him lately?
No, dude, I haven't heard from him since we did our
He's
episode.
Grown out like a Mennonite beard, wears flannel. He's getting like beefed up, and he could beat me up. And that's not ever something you want a younger brother to be able to do. But
What's up,
true.
Amagon? How you doing, Bubba? Dude, that's so crazy. I can't believe he answered. I'm honestly shocked. I thought it was gonna ring, and I was like, "What the fuck am I gonna do with dead air for 30 seconds?" Like,
yeah, it would have been lame.
but
I
he
would've
answered.
left.
It was perfect. But how nice was that to hear your brother's voice for the first time in months?
Years, actually.
Was not years. Shut up.
4 to 6 years. Yeah.
No, because you were in town
No,
when
I saw him over Christmas. He came here. Yeah, over Christmas. Yeah, that would be sad. That would be sad.
Dude,
I love him. I mean, and he actually is pretty close. I mean, I'm in Colorado Springs. He's in Salt Lake City. It's not that far of a plane ride.
How far of a plane ride? I was gonna say
Or a drive. I think a drive is probably like 6 or 7 hours. It's doable. It's not fun.
Oh, that's not that far. Go see your brother.
He can come see me. He's got a newer car than I do.
And
I don't want to drive. I don't want to drive my car anything more than like 30 miles. She's old.
It's so crazy. So I lived in Chicago. I lived in Tennessee, and I'm in DC. It's wild how a 6-hour drive is from San Antonio to Dallas.
Yeah,
that's like a weekend trip. Like when you're living in San Antonio, that's that's doable. But a 6-hour drive to people not from Texas is like an absurd 6 hours. Jesus Christ, would never.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, being in Texas, if you're in San Antonio and you want to go to the beach or something, it's like 4 hours to Galveston or whatever, and that's a day trip.
Yeah.
And I've kind of gotten jaded with that now. Is I don't drive those distances anymore, and now I get upset if I have to go more than 45 minutes.
Same.
I'm like, fuck, I'm not doing this.
Same, dude. It's so I have to in June. I'm gonna have to drive from DC to Texas. And it's like a 20, I'm going to say it was 26 or 24-hour drive last I looked. And I'm definitely I'm going to make it like a week trip where I stop in different cities and visit people or camp out. I don't know.
Make a road trip out of it. That would be pretty cool.
Hey, Mom, thanks for showing up. Love you.
I don't know if this is oh, go ahead.
No. It's you.
I don't know if this is true. I read this somewhere, but so again, take it with a grain of salt. But apparently it's only an American thing to express distance in terms of time. Like we say, oh, that's 5 hours away instead of that's 300 miles away.
Oh, that's 12 kilometers.
Right.
No, it's 2 minutes.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's true. It seems intuitive to me to use time instead of distance. But if that
is
fact
weird.
is true, then it is.
Fuck,
interesting.
I wish I've known that fact when I had the boys from the Biscuit Barrel comedy podcast or the Biscuit Barrel broadcast. Sorry, they were on a few weeks ago. But yeah, dude, that's so crazy. It's funny because I've met a lot of people just being in the military from other countries, and the way that they explain things Not like describe something like, oh, that's a trash can. They'll like explain like a road trip like that, where they're like, oh yeah, it's not X amount of hours, it's this many kilometers.
Right.
But in my head, I'm like, I don't give a fuck about the miles. I want to know the time.
Yeah,
Like,
you don't do that. You're like,
like-
I'm driving to San Francisco. It's going to be 8 hours. You don't think about, it's
Yeah.
450 miles. Nobody
Yeah.
does that crap. Maybe if you're doing a really long road trip and you need to plan out when to get gas, you might look into the miles. But
yes, for
other
sure.
than that, yeah.
Well, that's funny too. When you think about it though, when you're planning a road trip, you're like, all right, it's a 6-hour drive. In my head, I think 6 hours, that's if I'm driving 60 miles an hour, that means I'm going to get there in about 10 hours if it's 600 miles. And then
Nice
some
math.
people are like, oh, thank you. Thank you. Been practicing. That's great. I never thought about that. Now that you said that, I'm like, fuck,
It's weird. Yeah.
I got to think about now. I'm like trying to think about like road trips in terms of miles, not hours. I can't compute it.
It doesn't seem as intuitive, which is weird because you would think it would be counterintuitive to speak of distance in terms of time, but it's not.
So we were talking about, well, I talked to you about this today. So instead of TikToks this episode, we're going to talk about moral dilemmas.
I'm very excited about this episode.
I'm super excited too, because I'm sure you may have heard some of these before or read them. If you're watching on YouTube, instead of sharing a TikTok, I'm just going to share the text. So this is the first one that I brought up, and I'm going to read it for the listeners. You and your son are prisoners at a concentration camp. Your son tried to escape, but was recaptured and sentenced to hang at the gallows. To send a message to all the others that may try to escape, the guard orders you to pull a chair out from under your son. If you refuse, the guard will kill your son and another innocent person in the camp. What do you do? So basically, you're in this concentration camp. Your son tries to escape, fails, and the guard says, all right, you kill your son, or we're going to kill your son and another person. So
That's rough.
Ethan, what do you do?
Well, first I would not be put in the camp anyways. I would evade capture. But if I found myself in this situation, okay, what I'd like to say is, since I don't have kids right now, and so to me, it seems easy to say, well, I'm going to pull the chair out from under my son because he's going to die anyways. Might as well not kill someone else at the same time. But that's me coming from a perspective of not having kids and not having that, that love that you would have for your child. So if I were actually in that situation with a kid, I can't say that's what I would do. That's what I would do now. I would pull the chair now, but I don't know if that would be the reality.
I think the thing, well, one, are you an approving father? Because if you're a disapproving father and your son fails to escape, you're like, what the fuck, dude? You're a failure again.
You fucked up my escape plans.
You fucked it up. Like, like, what's your problem, dude? Like, how did you do it wrong? Because I would have done it right.
It depends on the relationship with your son, because pulling that chair out might be a cathartic motion, you know?
Like this is
finally.
This is what you fucking get. Boom.
That's dark, but potentially
that
a
is
situation.
Awful.
Yeah.
But I think the cool thing, not the cool thing, because this whole scenario sucks, but the cool thing about this scenario is only one other person dies. If you don't kill your son, they're only killing another prisoner.
Prisoner was probably going to die anyways.
True. You know, so
yeah,
if
this
one is the guard will kill your son and another innocent person in the camp. Yeah, so that means like if you don't kill him, your son's gonna die either way. The question then lies in: are you gonna bet this other person's life on it? You know?
Yeah, it's like the price of being the one to actually kill your son is saving another innocent person's life. But it's different because the son would have died anyway.
Thanks for tuning in, Rose.
I don't think this one. Oh, dude, Rose. It has been so long since I have
Youth group.
of
What's
Rose.
up?
Yeah, youth group. This is
Youth
is awesome. Yeah, cool. I'm glad that she's tuned in and also won the merch.
Yes. Yeah. That was Rose. That was our winner from last week. Rose, by the way, remember to message me what you want from our store so that way I can get it to you. But yeah,
I was gonna wear my shirt again too. I forgot. I keep forgetting to do that. Look at that. Hell yeah.
But anyways, so what would you have done? Would you pull the chair or not?
I would pull the chair.
Just kill your son.
He's already dead.
Is there an age discrepancy that would change your mind?
Possibly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 7 years old.
That
you
would
have
be
to
harder.
hang your own child.
Well, I mean, he's going to hang anyways. I'm not the one that's hanging him. Someone's going to have to pull the chair. It's either me or a guard, right?
True.
You know, so it's like I'm not killing my son.
Okay, so one thing I think. Go ahead.
In a sense, it might even be better if I were the one that did it than some random guard.
Okay.
Possibly.
No, I definitely agree. But one thing too is, I think this question, the context it lacks is, so you're in a concentration camp, you get lined up, you go into the gallows, you're with other prisoners, you know these guys, you know, so it's your son, and then let's say it's your best friend prisoner that gets fucking shot in the head or whatever they do.
Yeah, you're going to have at least a somewhat knowledge of this other person.
Yeah.
At the worst, they'll be an acquaintance, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would pull it. Looking at everything now, I would pull the chair. Because what are you going to do otherwise? Just stand back and watch your son die? That's what you're going to do in either situation.
Either way, yeah, that's good. Not good, but either way, he's going to die. So why not? Yeah, why not be the guy that pulls the trigger, essentially, you know, for lack of a better term.
And I would also like to think too that if I had that I would like to think that my son would not want somebody else to go down with him.
Yeah.
Like imagine you're dying and then as you die, someone else died as well, because you wouldn't want to be involved with that. If somebody else could live.
Now, let's say that your son is 15 and on the way up to the chair, he's like, fuck you, dad. No, fuck you. I'm not fucking shoveling more dirt in this concentration camp. Like, you're just going to be like, oh yeah, you fucking like, in my opinion, I'd be like, oh, you fucking turd. I'm not going to just pull the seat out. I'm going to fucking kick it. I'm like, fuck you. Like, you just you little shit.
Pull it really, really slow. Right? Drag it out.
So you slowly just is like,
that's not cool.
So before we, when I had mentioned this, this not pitch, but this idea to you about talking about this on the show, you said you had nobody to talk to about this, but you've thought about dilemmas like this.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you have any dilemmas that you've thought of yourself?
Yeah, I certainly do. So, I mean, I like to think of, you might have come across this one too. I think this is probably the most classic ethical dilemma right now. Well, maybe not, but with the rise of autonomous self-driving cars, I've seen a lot of discussion about the ethics of the car, because somebody has to program that car's behavior. And what happens if that car is in a situation where it has to make an ethical decision? So the one that I saw.
That is such a good point. I've never thought about that. I honestly, when I was looking at this shit, I never saw anything about autonomous cars, but we do have autonomous cars now that do make decisions.
Yes.
That's wild. Okay. Sorry.
So let's say your car's driving down the street. You're sitting back. It's self-driving and you reach, I don't know, you're cruising down the street and then all of a sudden a group of kids run out into the street chasing after a ball or something.
Yeah.
Now your car can make a decision. It continues on the path and it mows down the kids, or it swerves off to the side and hits a tree, potentially killing you. What is the morally right thing to do? Does
this is the old trolley
It's
dilemma.
it's kind of like the trolley, but it also brings in the idea of, does this car that you've paid for have a responsibility to protect you, its passenger?
Mm-hmm.
And these kids technically are also breaking the law by running out into the street. So what happens in this case?
I mean, I don't know. We're talking about jaywalkers, and they're obviously delinquents. So mow down the
It's like-
kids.
Yeah, it's a weird. That's my. I have a hard time. Yeah, with me on that question, I have a hard time imagining that people would be comfortable driving in a car that did not prioritize their safety first, especially like
That makes sense. Okay.
I can't see it breaking the law as well. And on top of that as well.
Yeah.
Like,
So this is honestly, this is the nowadays adaptation to the trolley dilemma. If you're listening or watching and you don't know the trolley dilemma, basically a trolley is coming down, this train is coming down its rails, and there's one person on the rails that you're gonna kill, or you can turn hit the brakes, turn the other way, and then you hit 5 other people. Who do you save? And I think we lie on the same. I think we have the same answer for that. I'd rather kill one person, whether it's me or another person, than 5.
Yeah, that seems to be the popular answer for that, but I'm going to fuck you up if you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay, so yeah, in this situation, right, like you have a trolley going down a path. You can pull the lever and it's either going to hit one guy or 5 guys. If you hit so basically most people would sacrifice the life of that one man to save the other 5. But think about it in terms of a different scenario. Like, let's say there is some surgeon who has 5 patients in need of organ transplants, and they're going to die that day.
God damn it!
Unless they get the transplants.
Yes.
Now, some healthy dude comes into the hospital and he's got all beautiful, healthy organs. The surgeon can kill him and take his organs to save the other 5. That's the same sort of question as the trolley problem, is it not? But most people would say, well, no, of course it's not okay to kill that one guy to save the other 5.
Yeah, but it's the, like, I think morally it's, one life over 5. Look, when you take it strictly mathematically, it's 1 life over 5. That's the clear answer is kill the one so the other 5 live. I do have one for you though that I think I read it and I was like, fuck, I kind of know, but I don't. It's kind of similar, but we'll talk about it. So this is called The Pregnant Lady and the Dynamite. So basically, a pregnant woman leading a group of 5 people out of a cave on a coast is stuck in the mouth of a cave. In a short time, high tide will be upon them, and unless she is unstuck, they will all be drowned except for the woman whose head will be out of the cave. Fortunately or unfortunately, someone has with him a stick of dynamite. There seems to be no way to get the pregnant woman loose without using the dynamite, which will inevitably kill her. But if they do not use it, everyone else will drown. So what do you do?
Yeah, it's the same sort of question, right? As the train or as the surgeon in the organ transplants. But when you rephrase them into these different scenarios, the answer is different, isn't it?
But I think it's a different. I think this is a different scenario in that the pregnant woman got in there somehow. Like, did she go in through a bigger opening? Is if this is the only way out, how did she get in? And also, if she didn't go in through that hole, why not just run out the back way?
Yeah, I think I mean, I guess you can always like find loopholes to these, right? So I think we need to stick within the like good faith narrative of this, you
Okay.
know? And what I see in there that changes this from the others is it said that she was leading this group. So she was in a
Mhm.
leadership position and got them into trouble. So
Okay.
when she becomes the issue later on, the reason they are going to die is because of her poor leadership. I think that brings an extra factor into the equation that makes killing her more acceptable.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying is, yeah, but like I look at it too abstractly. Like, how the fuck, if she gets stuck in this hole, how the fuck did she get in that hole in the first place? Like, they got to squeeze her out somehow, you know? And if they're
Squeeze the
going
baby out.
to squeeze the baby out,
Yeah.
come, come on,
I
Deborah, just push it out, squeeze it out.
I like Rose's question here because this reminds me of it's not, I guess it's kind of an ethical thing, an ethical dilemma, but something you hear about online or you discuss with your friends is like, and yeah, it's kind of related to this comment here by Rose.
Her comment
If
says, would it matter who the one person is compared to the five? Say a celebrity to five people from a small little towns as no one's ever heard of.
Right, what value do we place on a human life if it's
Yeah.
not known? So the question being like, let's say there's a magic button that you press, and every time you press it, you get $1 million straight into your bank, tax
Oh,
free.
it's another moral dilemma. I
But
almost brought that up, but I don't have
yeah,
it.
every time you press it, some random person in the world dies. So I would never press that button, but I think there are plenty of people in the world that would, and it raises the question of at what point, what is the value of a random human life?
See, that's where I would say, in all honesty, I would probably push the button to get $1 million. If it was some random person, and here's a stipulation that I didn't know,
It's any of the 7 billion people.
then
It could be you. You could press the button and you die. 1 in 7 billion chance.
is that the moral dilemma then?
Well, it's
Is it that you
riskier.
have a chance to die by pushing that button?
Yeah, but that's like so much more risky than like right now you're not making $1 million a year, but driving to work is infinitely more likely to die than not if, but it's like you have much greater chance than 1 in 7 billion of dying driving to your way to work for much less money.
Yeah.
So like the risk to yourself is basically non-existent, or to the people you know and love.
That's so crazy. And now I'm thinking about like chances. And now I'm like, if I grab this jewel, what are the chances that I am going to die from smoking? You know, like
Right.
it's just one of those, it's not a gambling thing. It's just like, it's not even a, are you willing to die thing? It's a, are you willing to partake at the expense of others is I think the bigger question,
Yes. Yeah.
with the
And
button question. Anyway.
I would be curious if somebody did like a large scale study on this and figured out what the number was. Because, if you said every time you press the button, you get $1 and somebody dies, I think most people probably wouldn't press the button.
No,
they'd be like,
not for a
no,
dollar.
are you kidding me? I'm valuing a human life at $1. But what if you said $1 billion?
$1 billion, I think, yes. I think the lowest. Okay, hold on. What do you think the lowest price is that a normal person would automatically hit the button?
I think you're going to start turning heads at probably like $100,000.
You think 100,000?
Probably.
Yeah, because you can survive off $100,000 for, a couple of years, few years.
Yeah, I mean,
depending on where you live.
For plenty of people out there, $100,000 is beyond life changing in terms of what that will do to them.
Yeah, well, for most people, $100,000 is that gets them out of.
And what if it's more complicated? What if like your mom is in the hospital and you can't afford her bills and she's going to die, but all of a sudden you press this button and then bam, someone else dies out there, but your mom doesn't.
Your mom, yeah. It's kind of like the it actually brings up a good point, because I have another one for you, and This is the last one that I queued up. I should have queued up more.
But also, actually,
Um,
really quick, I do want to address Rose's question about does it matter if the one person is like a celebrity?
Yeah.
I don't think it would matter if they were a celebrity so much, but if it were like 5 convicts, you know, and then one, I don't know, beloved social worker or something like
Yeah.
that, you know,
Well,
I
actually-
think there are, I think that could factor into it.
So
Yeah.
I actually that one, it's not something I've queued up, but I do remember this one because this is the question that spurred me to bring up this topic. Is it's called the hot air balloon. Can't talk. The hot air balloon dilemma. So you have 3 people in a hot air balloon: a mother, a father, and a child. The mother knows how to pilot the hot air balloon. The father has a cure to all illnesses, and the child is a completely innocent child. But the hot air balloon is popped and it's going down. Who has to jump to save the hot air balloon?
Okay.
Not at all, Rob. I would press it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, you know, Rob, I haven't talked to you in the longest time, but just knowing you, that makes sense. I'd be curious, Rob, if you can put in the comments what your lowest number would be for pressing the button, and be honest here.
Please do.
I'm curious.
But all right, so you have the woman who can pilot the hot air balloon, an innocent child, and
Yeah.
the man who can cure all illnesses.
Well, it seems like you have to have the woman in the hot air balloon, or else everyone's dead, right? Because she's the only one that can land it.
Mm-hmm.
So then it comes between the man who can cure all illnesses or the innocent child. And I'm coming to this from like an impartial third party perspective. I'm not the father in this situation.
Yeah. We're just deciding who do you think should jump? Who should jump?
You got to throw the baby out.
You got to throw the innocent child out.
I mean, if this guy can cure all illnesses, that
Mhm.
is a value that is almost. I mean, you can't even put a price on the value of that life.
So here's an argument that I heard when I was reading through this is the mother could easily explain before she jumped how to pilot the hot air balloon. It's not that hard.
No,
You just let off the heat, maybe pull over here, pull over there, and then, steer your way into a clearing, and then you're fine, So is the mother the one to kick?
Look, the moral dilemmas don't work when you find loopholes, because I think
But that's the fun part. That's why I'm talking about it.
Okay.
I like finding loopholes.
okay, if the loophole is the situation, okay, if that is the case, and she could reasonably teach the man how to pilot the thing, or at least crash land it,
Mm-hmm.
then yeah, she should go. 100%.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So you're okay with an innocent child living without a mother?
Someone's got to die, and I think that I think that the mother would prefer her child to live over her.
True.
So that's where we're at.
But I mean, what if she's a bad mother?
Well, I mean, she jumped out of the blimp, so
So she's got something good going for her,
yeah, that's a pretty baller move.
So I have another one for you, and this kind of it kind of is part of what we've talked about. I think that all these dilemmas that we talk about, it's always somebody's dying and other people live, which is going to be true for most dilemmas, I think. Well, not most, but all these ethical dilemmas, because you're trying to take, decide if this person is better than the other or others. And this one is pretty similar. And so I'll just read it. So You were an EMT on the scene of a car crash that involves your spouse and the lover you didn't know she had or he. They both are gravely injured. Your spouse's injuries, the worst of them. You can tell that it's unlikely that he or she will pull through. Meanwhile, his or her lover has a neck wound that will prove fatal if pressure isn't applied soon. Whom do you work on? This is big because it makes it immediately personal.
Makes it immediately personal.
You're just doing your job. And then this bitch or dick that you are in a relationship with is fucking cheating on you. The bitch or dick is about to die, but so is the other dude, but you could probably save him. Like, what do you do?
Man, that one is hard. Yeah, it's interesting how, and I mean, when I think about the moral dilemmas that I like ruminate on, they all seem to involve death. Like, we have to go to this. It's weird, but like, we have to push it to this extreme for the moral dilemma to really ring true. I don't know. It's interesting, but this one is tough because there's a lot of elements to it.
What I think that out of all the dilemmas that I was like reading on and trying to pull up for tonight, this one puts a personal aspect on it. So you know that your spouse who is about to die is a piece of shit. They suck. They're the worst person ever. They cheated on you. But now the person who that piece of shit was cheating on you with has the chance to live, and you're treating him. What the fuck are you gonna do? This was one of the toughest ones that I read because I was like, fuck, like you throw that personal aspect in of like, oh yeah.
Yeah, because it brings, you're right, it's a personal connection. It brings in
my dad said, oops, the bandage slipped.
Damn.
He said, I gotta leave them both. I gotta check the tire pressure. Do you have kids? How long has this person been my spouse? Well, Dad, this is a personal dilemma, so your personal situation.
These are some good questions to ask. I think, as usual, the question requires more context. Because yes, if there are kids involved, then certainly you need to save your cheating spouse. I think that's without question.
Oh, sorry, this was my dad saying this. This is Rose. Sorry, I can't read. I don't have my glasses on. I need to wear those more. But yeah, more context. So, as a single person, this breaks my heart. Because if I have a girlfriend and I'm an EMT and I respond to a car crash and my girlfriend is fucking dying or almost dead, and then this douchebag she met at the bar is still kind of alive, I don't know. It's so fucking hard. I don't know.
I mean, you might know more about this. I would assume you do. What's the protocol? Like, removing all emotion from this, but you have two patients in this situation, and you have to triage them.
So as a medic or an EMT or whatever, you have to legally, you need to go to the person who has the most chance of the bigger chance of living,
which would be the boy in this case.
Yes, the boy.
A boy.
A boy.
So I mean, you could get in legal trouble then too.
Yeah, but let's say you are the EMT crawling into this car. You see your girlfriend die. She's basically dead, and then you're in the car by yourself, and this other guy he's savable.
Well, it didn't say she was basically dead. It said she had a chance, but it's not good.
Yeah, but yeah, it's improbable that she would live. So, but the question asks or states, that she is improbable to live, but the other guy you can save just by applying pressure. I'm going to bring the question up again. And I'm just going to read it again for the listeners. You were an EMT on the scene of a car crash that involves your spouse and the lover you didn't know she had or he. they both are gravely injured. Your spouse's injuries are the worst. You can tell it's unlikely that he or she will pull through. Meanwhile, his or her lover has a neck wound that will prove fatal if pressure isn't applied soon. So in my eyes, I think that she is unsavable from the question posed. I think that she's unsavable. So you have the option to save your wife or husband who is going to die more than likely, or save the mistress. So
what is a male mistress called?
a mister.
A mister? Mistress of the mister.
I'm never gonna call somebody mister again.
Yeah, it's not good. So you're gonna save the mister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, morally, I think the right choice is to save the mister. And my dad commented he's a paramedic. He also says basic triage principle: if you do not have the resources to save both, you save the most savable. And that's where I would go. I would probably say, yeah, I would save the dude. Also, fuck her. She's a bitch. The dude's just trying to lay. You know what I mean?
I'm actually going to have a different response here.
I
understand that the proper moral response is to save the person who is more savable. Even if you like taking out everything else, like looking at it from that perspective, like your dad is right.
Yeah.
And I know that, but I would do the opposite, even knowing that, because I think that even if I were cheated on, I would still have such an emotional history and connection and just an overwhelming feeling toward this person who I love.
Yeah.
And I don't think that I could watch them die, even if the chances of saving them were slim.
I would agree with that too, is the fact that like when you roll up on the scene, you see this car crash, right? You pop in and then you see both of these people, but then you automatically recognize the person that you love, your spouse or your immediate other. I probably wouldn't flinch and even go for the other dude. I would probably immediately go for, even if she's almost dead, I would immediately like jump to, oh fuck, like I gotta save like this thing that's going on.
I think you'd have tunnel vision on her.
That's
just
true.
Because of your history.
That's true.
Like I don't even think saving the other guy would be an option to me. Even though that is like the technically correct thing to do.
My dad said, yeah, he didn't cheat on you. She did. Forget her. Well, Mom, if you're watching this.
They're both pieces of shit. I'm not going to give the guy any.
Oh, no, they're awful.
I know he's just trying to get a lay, but he certainly knew. Yeah. And if you're like, he didn't need to be doing that.
That brings up the other question, though. If you were, let's say you were second on scene, you see both of these, your first guy freezes, doesn't know what to do. You come on, you see girlfriend is there, almost dead. And then you see other guy who is going to die, but you can save him. But you're not in that relationship. You're probably going to go for the dude that's not dead yet,
Yeah.
So, I don't know, because you get that from a relationship standpoint. If oh fuck, that dude was like fucking my girl. Like, you think both of them are pieces of shit. You want both of them to die realistically, but fuck her. Like, she's been in this relationship for a while.
She's committed the greater crime.
Yeah. And then
because of her history with you.
Yeah. And you're like, hey, then you go back to that whole argument. Oh, this guy, he was just trying to get laid, and slap it up. I don't know, dude. Hey, Dad, Mom says, what does that mean? Airing our dirty laundry out on my show. Nice, family. Love it. Hey, Ethan, what do you got going on right now, man? How's Colorado?
Colorado is great. I love it. Aside from the fact that I am very lonely right now, everything else is good. But man, I can't do anything. I've been snowed in for like a week.
Anything open right now?
More or less, yeah. But it's just the weather's been terrible, and
Yeah.
Nobody's meeting up in groups. Nobody is
Yeah.
meeting up in groups yet, and so it is difficult.
Fair enough.
But I like it.
And is anything open? Are bars open at all? Or
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I haven't been admittedly, I haven't put in that much effort because I've just been super busy lately. And, living in a house by yourself is a lot more work than you might think it is. Like there's all sorts of stuff going on. Like I'm having to deal with freaking asbestos abatement, frozen pipes. Like these aren't concerns.
I haven't heard that word.
I know these aren't like concerns I had 3 months ago, and now it's like, oh my god, I had a frozen pipe.
First Corona, now asbestos. What the fuck,
dude? Radon. Have you heard about radon?
Oh, only from The Office. Radon testing. Because
Yeah,
radon is a silent killer.
It is a silent killer. In places
You
like
sound like
Colorado
Toby.
that are very rocky, there are uranium and radon or radium deposits underneath the ground, and the radon gas seeps up into your living space. So you have to have like this fan-based remediation system to take care of that. I didn't even know this existed,
Yeah.
And now I've got like radon monitors around my house, and I'm like, oh fuck, it was 1.49 picocuries per liter today. What's going on?
I don't even know that
lung
measurement.
Cancer. I'm not. The EPA recommendations are below 4 picocuries per liter.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I like your dad commented. So he likes how my name sounds like I'm a doctor.
Yes, I was about to bring that up. Yeah.
My username on here is Ethan MD. My middle name is Maxwell. My last name is Dirks.
I was gonna ask you about that before we went live. I had no idea that's what that was for.
I think
Maxwell Dirks. That's hilarious.
It makes me sound. I want people to think that I am a doctor sort, and this puts that image in their head.
Well, thank you, because I gained a couple of followers because people thought I had a doctor on.
You got this.
If I
hot young doctor on your dude, I'm so jealous of like those 28-year-old doctors that are just ridiculously handsome.
Dude, shut the fuck up. Like, dude, I work with them all the fucking time. I work in a hospital that is full of med students and interns, residents, and attendees. And I have these handsome ass men, these beautiful women,
like this beautiful
come up to the
29-year-old doctor.
No. They're like younger than me. They're like 23. They're like med students. And they come up, they're like 23, 24, and they're like, hey, I need this order done. I'm speaking of women, not men. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I'll like look at it. I'm like, oh, you're fucking stupid. So I'll rewrite it or get the doctors to rewrite it. But dude, beautiful doctors, it should be illegal.
There needs to be.
I think that's a big pharma thing. I think big pharma employs beautiful people to just make you buy expensive shit for no reason. Like it blows my mind.
Beautiful people are actually more successful because people take them more seriously.
Well, I can't wait to be homeless.
I'm sorry, bud.
Not doing well.
I mean, it's like I couldn't cite the exact studies, but you can look into this, and it is true that if you're tall and if you're handsome or if you are beautiful, you are more likely to be successful.
So weird, and I think this is probably the inner super alt-wing left speaking out in me, but beautiful people are just, they do better in life, like at least in America.
Yeah,
they do much better.
It's on, part of it is it makes logical sense, right? Because if or maybe just if somebody is beautiful or handsome or attractive, you sort of subconsciously think they've got their shit together.
Know what's going on. Yeah.
Right. And so it makes sense in that regard that you would trust them. Right. Or you would hold them in higher esteem because you're like, okay, they're in great shape. They even if it's not totally logical, if they were just born that way. we have that assumption that somebody who's beautiful has their life together, which isn't, certainly isn't necessarily the case underneath the skin. But,
Yeah.
and
Well,
they should be like, they should be handicapped if you're too beautiful. Like,
actually, I think that, yeah, they should be handicapped and they should get a parking space in the back of the lot.
yeah,
Yes. make them work for it.
Yeah, but then they're just gonna get nicer legs from walking the distance.
That's right. Damn, I like legs.
I'm a leg man too.
Hey man, I'm gonna take you down. We're gonna end this show. All right, bub.
All right.
Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to follow Ethan on Instagram, Ethan_Dirks. Yeah, thank you so much for being here with us. We had a great time. And make sure to like, subscribe, follow, all that fun shit. We're going to be on live next week with Stefan Satani, and it's going to be a great time. We're going to have a lot of fun, share our streams, tag us in it. It's going to be pretty great. You got to share and tag us, though, to win big, win some t-shirts or sweaters and stuff. So thank you for being on. We will see you guys next week.